is a modern classic. I feel like in the collecting community, that label gets thrown around a ton from people like me, right? The watch journalists, the watch YouTubers. It's just a very common label we like to put on things. And usually, in my humble opinion, it's a bit of an exaggeration. But what do I know? I'm just the f***ing time teller. It is 1:08 p.m. Let's get down to business. Alright, so you want something versatile, elegant, refined, rugged, durable, functional, water resistant, sub 40 millimeters, automatic, shock resistant, for under $1,000 with really great loom and an in-house movement. That's a pretty tall order. Does that even exist? All of those things? Well, it does. Or it used to. You see, I'm talking about a true modern classic. A watch that came out within the last 20 years that became one of the most beloved, coveted, polarizing watches in the collecting community. That's right, it's the most loved, it's the most hated. People laud it for its accomplishments. People say that it's ugly and doesn't go with anything. But it seems no one's indifferent about that watch, and it's like a kindred spirit of mine, because pretty much no one's indifferent about me or my channels. You either love me or you hate me. But the funny thing is that even watch aficionados that choose to really only speak about 5-figure watches and up have lowered themselves to make comments about this watch, good and bad. I'm talking about the true modern classic that is the Seiko Alpinist. And guys, you're going to be seeing on screen right now probably one or two watches. When I say Alpinist, there's been numerous Seiko Alpinists, but I'm really only talking about one, the Sarbo 17. And you might be seeing a blue iteration, the SPB 089, but really that's just a Sarbo 17 with a blue dial. The Sarbo 17 is the watch you think of when you think Alpinist. None of these other ones with a Cyclops on the date or a display case back or some stupid Prospex labeling somewhere. I don't even know at this point. I'm talking about a 39 millimeter, 47 millimeter lug to lug, 12 millimeter thick, in-house automatic, dia shock resistant, great loomed, 200 meter water resistant watch with a threaded crown and an internal rotating bezel. This is the perfect watch. I mean, ever since I started my channel, people would ask me, if you could only have one watch, what would it be? Out of your collection, what would one watch be that you would pick for the end of time? And I always go back to two watches, my Date 1500 and my Sarbo 17. And I realized I was picking both of those watches for kind of the same reason. I mean, you can wear them whenever, wherever. The Date 1500, sub 40 millimeter. The Sarbo 17, sub 40 millimeter. Date 1500 has a threaded crown with at least a 100 meter water resistance rating. Same with the Alpinist, except the Alpinist has a 200 meter water resistance rating. And when you look at these metrics, actually, I'm realizing the Alpinist is a better watch. I mean, it has better loom, more water resistance, better shock resistance, just more functionality. And a green dial. So I like both of these watches because they're quite versatile, they're wearable, they're perfect. But today we're talking about the Alpinist. You know, I think it was marketed as a field watch, but I think just referring to it simply as a field watch is doing it a disservice. I mean, it's transcended that. I think nowadays most people don't even think of the Alpinist as a field watch, but it is. I mean, it's the Alpinist. Now we're going to jump in the pros and cons here, but I'm going to tell you right now, you guys already know how biased I am towards loving this watch, but there are some definite cons, so let's jump into it. The pros: the slim lug design wears a whole lot like an oyster case. Again, this is probably why I stack this one up against my Date 1500 all the time. This Alpinist is wearable in almost every situation. The green and gold accents on the dial, high visibility, high legibility, great loom. It just sets this watch apart from a sea of ho-hum monochromatic field watches. It just looks different, but functional and nice. And again, I mean, we can finish up the pros list with everything I said. Rugged, elegant, refined. Let me see, what are the words I chose? Versatile, elegant, refined, rugged, durable, functional, water resistant, sub 40 millimeter, automatic, shock resistant, under $1,000, great loom, in-house movement, blah, 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 blah. But that last thing I said, not the blah, 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 but the under $1,000 thing, that's kind of a lie in 2022. You see, that's not exactly accurate the way the market is going. That's right, Rolexes seem to be tanking, but the Seiko Alpinists, they're going up. And now we're getting into the cons. You see, as we get into the cons, we can talk about how people are taking advantage of this watch and it being discontinued and replaced with an arguably worse version of an Alpinist. And these Sarbo 17s are being listed at $2,000 and up. And I absolutely love the Sarbo 17. So if something did happen to mine, I suppose I would bite the bullet and buy one at 4 times the price I spent on my original one. But like, it's just because I'm obsessed with this watch. The truth is, this is not a $2,000 watch at all, not even close. So I'm not above admitting that this is not worth what people are trying to sell them for. It's just making it harder for enthusiasts to get this watch because this is truly the best iteration of the Alpinist. And there's only one other con that I would mention. I complain about this all the time with a bunch of other watches. There's no drilled lugs. Give the fucking watch a drilled lug. Just drill the lugs. God. So yeah, I get that people, especially watch journalists, they throw around the term modern classic a whole lot. In fact, so often that it's lost its meaning. But when it comes to the Seiko Sarbo 17 Alpinist, it just makes sense. Guys, let me know, what's your favorite Seiko Alpinist? I know there's been a whole bunch throughout the years. There's Seiko Alpinists that have been around since well before I've been alive. Leave me the comment, what's your favorite Alpinist? And do you agree with me that the term modern classic is used just far too much? And guys, by the way, I want to thank everyone for supporting me on, every platform that I'm on. A ton of new followers on Instagram. We have a ton of new subscribers over on T3 Time to Drive. My podcast has been very, very proactively not only listened to, but people are interested in coming on the podcast and talking with me, so that's a whole lot of fun. The shop, we did incredibly well during Black Friday, and it's all because of you guys. And then what I want to pitch right now is the newest channel, I was going to say episode, the newest channel on the Time Teller brand's roster, the Beverly Hills Shrink, starring my dad. That's right.
20-year-old Adam Lanza. He shot and killed his own mother before going on his rampage.
That's right, my dad is a neuropsychiatrist and a psychopharmacologist, and he has some very interesting, knowledgeable takes on various things. He's even gotten into some spooky, ooky crimes. So go ahead, subscribe over there, tell him that I sent you, and give my dad some words of approval. Let him know that he's on the right track here on YouTube. This is a whole new area for my dad. He has no idea what to expect. He has a little bit of an idea. I mean, I've been doing it for a little while, but yeah, go support my dad, please. Thank you so much, guys, for everything. I will catch you on the next one. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.